The New York Jets have made a lot of moves. They've got a new quarterback. They've got some new offensive linemen. I mean, they've got a lot of new pieces. So we're bringing in a special guest to give us some special insights into several of these additions and what the hell the Jets have been doing overall in free agency. What is to come? We've got all that and more coming up. Boy Green Daily starts now.
I'm going to lose my gosh darn bananas. Boy Green Daily starts now. Zoinks!
Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Let's go!
Put your seatbelts on. Get ready for the ride. We're the freaking New York Jets, and we're built for this shit.
Hello, everybody. I'm Paul Eston Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video show, also available wherever you find your podcast. And we've got a very special guest, and I'm just going to be candid with you all out there in the audience. I knew I was talking to this guy at some point, but what I didn't know was it about one quarterback? Was it about another quarterback? Was it about another quarterback? I wasn't sure about. The conversation, for sure. About whom? Well, that was left up to interpretation, and now we have some more answers to those questions. So let's bring him in. You guys should know who the hell he is. He's an NFL analyst, breaking news team writer for Bleacher Report, and the do-it-all man for all things Las Vegas Raiders, which will come quite in handy for the conversation we're about to have. Let's bring him in. You always want some Moe Moton. What's up, Moe? Good morning, sir.
What's going on, Boy Green? I get up for two shows, Good Morning America and Boy Green Daily. Those are the only two shows it's the only way you're going to get me up this early.
Okay, well, that is great company to keep, Moe Moton. And I said it in the intro like, oh, boy, am I bringing Moe Moton on for some Derek Carr action? Party like it's 2023? Is that what's happening here? No, Geno Smith? Is it this? Is that? And yeah, the jersey's been hanging up here for a week or two because I had a sense. I guess this is where this direction is going. So, Geno Smith. Moe, I want your initial reaction. There's a lot of layers to get into here. When I'm sure you heard it before the trade happened that, it was reported the previous night that it seemed like Geno was going to sign with the Jets at 4:01 p.m. on Wednesday. And then suddenly on Tuesday, the day before, the Jets and Raiders strike a trade. Let's just bang this puppy out right now, and he ends up being a Jet. Your initial reaction was what, Moe?
As a player, if you're a team that is going to get rid of a player, release him, and you can get anything for him, I think that's a win for the Raiders, right? Yeah. So I take it as, from a Raiders perspective, it's a win. For your team, your Jets team, you get Geno Smith back. There's some good and bad. We'll get into that. But with Geno Smith, I think people are low on because of last year leading the league in interceptions and all the things that happened with the Raiders. But that's probably the worst version of Geno Smith you're going to get, and I'll explain why in a moment. So I'm not saying Jets fans should be excited for Geno Smith Part 2, but know that you're probably going to get a better version than what you saw last year.
Because that's sort of where I'm at. And I didn't know what the reaction was going to be because, with everything said, the Jets are looking for a quarterback this offseason. The options seemed generally terrible no matter which way they went. We have the number 2 overall pick in a draft where a certain quarterback's going to go in a certain place. So that wasn't happening. Probably, maybe we'll get into that later. So the options weren't great. And then when they got Geno, I'm going to be honest, I was sort of like, all right, Geno Smith, okay. You could do worse than Geno Smith. Our quarterback freaking stunk last year. And I saw everything you said about the Raiders' year last year. I'm like, all right, he led the league in picks. He had a really bad year. The Raiders didn't win many games. Obviously, they have the number 1 overall pick. But Jet fans hated this. I'm just going to hate things everywhere about Geno. I'm like, guys, what the hell are you talking about? 2 years ago, he threw for 4,300 yards and like 20-something touchdowns. You want to know how many quarterbacks in Jets franchise history have thrown for over 4,300 yards. Spoiler alert, no one has ever thrown for over 4,300 yards in our history. So I just don't get the rocks from glass houses here. Our quarterback option stunk. Geno, before last year, all his numbers from 2022 to 24 are basically top 10 numbers in the league across any quarterback. So I'm like, this feels like a significant upgrade for the Jets. So to me, I'm pretty titillated, all things considered.
It's a very low bar to scale when you got Tyrod Taylor and Justin Fields and able to throw for 100 yards in a game. But I'll say this, Paul. The Raiders had a lot going on last year. Yeah. And some of it, yes, Geno Smith was to blame. You put the interceptions on him. But by the way, Pete Carroll was meddling in the offense by midseason because he wanted to run the ball more at Ashton Jeanty. Chip Kelly, before he was fired, was basically paring down the offense. Geno Smith had to throw a lot of short passes, a lot of quick outs, because there was a lack of trust in Geno Smith behind that offensive line. And that's partially why I believe you're going to get a better version. The Jets, all things considered, have a better offensive line than the Raiders had last year. Pete Carroll came in with his staff. His son was running the offensive line group, switched around some players, moved JPJ from center to guard, had Jordan Meredith starting at center, which was a bad idea. So the offensive line was a mess. DJ Glaze at right tackle took a step back. Colton Miller got hurt. Jackson Powers-Johnson eventually got hurt as well. So they had a bunch of backups on their offensive line. Stowe Forsythe comes in. He's been a turnstile his whole career as a backup left tackle. So that's not on Geno Smith. And I will say that the Jets, Armand Membu, I was a big Armand Membu guy coming out. I feel like the Raiders should have drafted him as well. So when you come into New York and you're Geno Smith, you're looking at that offensive line, you have better pass protection. Yes, the pass catching group isn't great. Garrett Wilson and a bunch of other guys. You want to say Breece Hall catch out of the backfield? Yes. Like what I saw to Mason Taylor in his rookie year. But all things considered, it's not a great pass catching group, but he has some options there. And he's going to have more time to throw. He's going to have less dysfunction, in my opinion, with the Jets. I know it sounds crazy to say, but he's going to have less dysfunction with the Jets than he had with the Raiders, simply because I don't think the Raiders were ever on the same page coming out of training camp. I mean, Pete Carroll came in. He had his philosophy. John Svitek, a first-time GM, had his philosophy. A lot of the young guys should have been playing early, and they didn't. You fired Chip Kelly early. You had your son running the offensive line, in my opinion, wasn't qualified to run the offensive line. There was just, again, a lot going on. But what you can blame Geno for is I think there's still a maturity issue there. There was a loss after the Cleveland Browns. Raiders lose to Cleveland in Las Vegas. He flips off a fan. You can't have that. You just can't have that with Mark Davis being a very fan-friendly owner. And on top of that, with the interceptions, you could see him start to blame teammates and not take accountability for those interceptions, though he was very passive-aggressive in a post-game press conference where he says, you can blame me for everything. If your dog poops on the carpet, blame me. Your kid fails a test, blame me. You're late for work, blame me. And it was kind of to say he's listening to the noise around him and being passive-aggressive about it, and he has to be more mature and take accountability and be a leader on the football field as the starting quarterback.
Mo, I heard this story, and I'm sure it went crazy in Raider Nation. You know, the one nation under God, indivisible, you know, for everybody else.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I won't get into any Raider Nation, Jets Nation stuff here on this show. That's not an area I planned on going into. But I'm curious, what's the truth here? So Tom Pelissero joined the Rich Eisen show a couple months back, and he told this crazy-ass Chip Kelly story on the show, and hopefully you heard it, because or else I'm going to paraphrase it terribly. But basically, that he was doing some weird stuff with play calling and calling plays that may or may not have been in the playbook or something, and then the players were like, what? And it turned into all this drama. Can you breathe any life into any of that? Did you guys immediately shut that down? Was that not a true story from Pelissero? Because what happened there?
It's a very gray area story because you have theories out there that Chip Kelly wasn't running the offense he wanted to operate. And as I said earlier, that Pete Carroll was meddling in this offense. You don't want a defensive-minded head coach meddling in your offense, especially when Chip Kelly was the highest-paid offensive coordinator in the league last year. They paid him the big bucks, and Pete Carroll was meddling in the offense. So I think there was a combination of Pete Carroll, as I said, wanted the offense to look a certain way with the run game, and Chip Kelly wanted the offense to look another way with the passing game. and it just didn't mesh well. But there was evidence of players, and you could see it on film, players running the wrong way on plays, not knowing where to go, multiple guys looking confused, offensive linemen getting off the line of scrimmage seconds behind after the play has been the ball has been snapped. And these were signs of confusion. Whether it was Chip Kelly's fault or Pete Carroll's fault, as I said earlier, the team just wasn't on the same page from the coaching staff down to the players. And that's why you had so much dysfunction with the Raiders offense last year, and why it should be at least better as long as the Jets are on the same page with how their offense is going to be run under Frank Wright.
All right. When we agreed to do this conversation, Mo, was about Geno Smith. Like, let's get that, and then we'll talk about other stuff. Since then, the Jets have continued to raid the Raiders' coffers. Okay, they signed Dylan Parham. Okay, and he's going to probably plug into left guard for the Jets. It's a 2-year deal for $16 million. It has $7.49 million guaranteed. Essentially, it's a 1-year deal that they can easily get out of after a year. But they needed somebody because John Simpson left to the Baltimore Ravens. Elijah Tucker went to the gosh darn Patriots, for God's sakes, that traitorous bastard. And so, Mo, I go to you here. Give us the skinny on Dylan Parham, because not for most of us, we don't know anything about this guy. Give us the good, bad, and ugly here.
Good, bad, and ugly is you're getting a solid average guard. I thought, in my opinion, he was best on the right side than the left side. He played on the left side last year. In my opinion, he had his best year playing right guard in 2024. And I don't know if that's just because right-hand dominant type player. I've always heard offensive linemen say this. Not all offensive linemen can play both sides of the line. Some guys are better on the left side. Some guys are better on the right side. Of course, you have some guys who can play on both sides. I think Dylan Parham is best on the right side, though he's also a decent left guard as well. He also has a background as a center. Had some snaps at center in the preseason early in his rookie year with the Raiders. Had some tight end in his background coming out of Memphis. So you're getting an athletic guard as well. So you could plug and play him in. You're probably, as you said, probably going to slot him in on the left side because you lost John Simpson. But if I were in the Jets coaching room, I would just toss out his 2024 film of him at right guard, and I think you'd be more impressed with him on the right side. I'm not sure if that's something you want to experiment with down the line if it doesn't work out for him, or if you're not satisfied with him on the left side. But just know that you're getting a solid player. Is he going to knock your socks off as a Pro Bowl, All-Pro player? Probably not. Maybe he has room to grow because he is still young in his career. This is his second contract. But I will say you won't be disappointed in him. Just don't expect an elite player.
Again, we're speaking with Moe Moton, baby. You see the BR behind him. He's one of Bleacher Report's Mount Rushmores, for God's sakes. He's one of the foundational pillars of that godforsaken brand, which is terrific. He's Moe Moton here on the program. And quickly on the center stuff, because I was breaking down as soon as any offensive lineman gets signed, I started going, okay, is this guy always available? Okay, he's played in at least 15 games every year of his career. Okay, good. All right, let me go to Pro Football Focus. Let me see all the snaps he's ever played across any offensive line position. I'm like, oh, wow, okay. He's got a little bit of this, a little bit of that in terms of the interior offensive line. The center snaps you mentioned he's had before, it's somewhere in the ballpark of 250 snaps at center in his career. Was that emergency reasons? Were they being a little curious? Hey, can he do some of this? What happened there? What was the origin story of the center stuff?
Now this goes back to the Josh McDaniels time with the Raiders, and I think it was more of an experiment of where can we slot him? Because as I said, coming out of Memphis, he was an athletic offensive lineman where he has some tight end in his background, and you're thinking there were analysts out there that said his best career pathway is at center. And there were some people who say his best career pathway is at guard. So the Raiders tried him out at both positions, and they felt like, okay, we're going to use him at guard, and that's where we're gonna basically start him, but we're going to give him those reps at center to see where he's at, because most teams do this at training camp. They cross-train these offensive linemen. You got to learn how to play more than one position, because how many times do you see an offensive line start and finish a season the same 5 guys? So you have to cross-train your players, and it helps when you have a background at different spots and different positions. And I thought he was pretty decent at center. Now, after the Josh McDaniels era, the Raiders really didn't deal with him or experiment with him at center. He was just a guard. It was just a matter of what side he was going to play on. But if you want to explore that part of his game, you should be open to it. Now, there are different, obviously, responsibilities for a center, calling the plays out, the line of scrimmage before the snap, pre-snap. You're going to have to get him used to that if he's going to move to the center spot, if you're going to experiment there. But just know that he has done that in the preseason, a little bit in the regular season, and at training camp, if you're going to, twiddle with that.
Mo, do you consider us friends?
Of course, Paul. We're good friends. We're good friends, Paul.
I thought so too, but you know what? Sometimes you don't know. It takes two to tango. All right, so we're friends. Great, I'm good friends. I think so too. You want to know who else is good friends? John Spytek and Darren Mucci. We just struck a trade. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. We struck a trade. I love striking trades. If me and you were GMs, I'd try to strike a trade with you all the time. That's the kind of guy I am. So we've already struck one trade, and they say
I know where this is going.
When you strike one trade, it's a little easier the next time. You've already danced once. You just got to hear the music, get a little bit into the rhythm. Moe Moton, you ready to make another deal?
I would probably say no, because I think I know where this is going. But go ahead, Paul. Shoot.
Okay, come on. I've heard it from the people in the peanut gallery. Listen to some ESPN get up over the last 2 weeks. Oh, boy. Raiders are a little far out. Maybe they got to trade it for a trade number 1 overall for a bunch of picks, rebuild. It makes a lot of sense. Brick by brick, you got to stack it up. You can't just throw this race car driver behind this broken down sedan. Come on, you need to build up the car a little bit. So let's make a trade. Let's let you guys get on a proper timeline. Maybe 2027 is when you can get your guy. Let's tango a little bit. Some Fernando Mendoza trade action. Jake Asman, right? He interviewed. He had that little quick interview with Fernando at the combine. Says, "Oh man, would have loved you on the Jets." He's like, "We'll see what happens." Oh, we will. Oh, okay, Fernando.
Let me think about it, Paul.
Okay.
No.
Ooh, wait. While
not.
you're thinking about it, I have something else to play you. This may change your mind. Hit it. Huh?
Paul, 100%, absolutely not. There's no way.
Okay.
No way that happens. There's no way Clint Kubiak leaves his job in Seattle, comes to Las Vegas to coach Kirk Cousins, Aiden O'Connell. Absolutely not. There's no way the Raiders spend all that money to get Tyler Linderbaum from the Baltimore Ravens, a very scummy organization, what they did, by the way.
We should get into that.
No way. Yeah. No way they get Tyler Linderbaum, the prize center of free agency, to come to Las Vegas to snap the ball to, no offense, Aiden O'Connell, no offense, Kirk Cousins, no offense to any quarterback that signs with the Raiders over the next couple of days, few days, weeks, whatever the case is. No way you spend all of that money on Tyler Linderbaum to hike the ball to a backup quarterback. It's not happening, Paul. I'm sorry. This is not a Raiders-Jets thing. This is a Raiders against the world thing. No way the Raiders are going to trade the pick. We're drafting, not we. The Raiders are drafting Fernando Mendoza. And it's going to be great. It's going to be great. He's going to throw the ball to Brock Bowers.
Nice.
He's going to throw the ball to newly wide receiver signed by the Raiders, Jalen Naylor. He's going to throw the ball to Ashton Dente out of the backfield. Michael Mayer is going to get involved. We're going to have a great offense over here in Las Vegas. And we're not going to mess that up by trading the pick to any team. You could throw out 3 first-rounders if you're the Jets. And I'll listen, but I'm just going to hang up the phone after the offer has been said.
Okay, well, at least you're going to listen, because again, we're good friends. Like, it makes sense that you leave. It's not just, hey, like, at least you're like, all right, what do you got? And then respectfully, click. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Moe Moton. I just wanted to, dabble, dip the toe in the water to see if the water was comfortable. It wasn't. Thank you. You brought up Maxx Crosby stuff. Oh my goodness! When I got the alert on my phone, I was confused because, I see backed out of the trade. And I'm like, backed out of the trade? That's interesting wording to use. Backed out of the trade. Like, that's a thing? You can just back out of trades? Me and you can reach an agreement on a fantasy football trade. A week later, I'm like, I'm actually backing out of the trade. Wait, you're what? Huh? Who? Huh? So I get failed physicals. But failed physicals don't, like, backed out of trade and failed physicals, those are not simpatico. It does not happen. So, my immediate BS meter went off. Like the Ravens got cold feet, and then they did some backdoor dealings as soon as they signed Trey Hendrickson to a very similar deal that Maxx Crosby was signed to. That sounds like some bullshit to me, Moe Moton. That seems like some sketchy action here. Is that what you smell? Mm-hmm.
It absolutely, it reeks. Come on. Did you see Eric DeCosta's press conference? He said, well, in order to compensate for the losses that we had, the best way we can build this football team was to sign 2 edge rushers to mega deals. First of all, Maxx Crosby's agent came out and said it was BS that the Ravens tried to revise the deal and pay, give Maxx Crosby a new contract. He said that was BS. I don't believe Eric DeCosta's story that in order to help Lamar Jackson with losing Tyler Linderbaum, we're going to beef up our defense. It doesn't correlate. Doesn't make any sense to me. The other thing, and it's these players are paid millions, so they'll be fine. But for Maxx Crosby to bring his family all the way to Baltimore, and the reports came out that said that vibe was just off there. The Ravens, they're going to say we did what's best for us, but if you look at it, Ravens lost a bunch of players in free agency, including Tyler Linderbaum to the Raiders. Mm-hmm. And then to say, yeah, we were already talking to Trey Hendrickson, we were going to bring in both. It just seems like a very poor cover-up story for, as you said, cold feet. Oh, we lost a bunch of players. We got Maxx Crosby, who, by the way, left the Raiders because he wanted to go to a situation where he could win right away. Mm-hmm. And in my head, not only did the Ravens lose a bunch of players, but they probably looked at their roster and said, we're going to need a lot more than Maxx Crosby to get back into the playoff picture and be a Super Bowl contender. And if this player isn't happy with the team he left because they weren't competing for, a playoff spot, we're not going to be in that spot with just him. This is not a good situation for Maxx Crosby. He may not be happy if we miss the playoffs again, as we did the previous season. So again, it just reeks of a very shady move. And the Ravens have done this before. I'm sure you heard this story before. Ryan Grant, I believe, signed a deal, and the Ravens backed out of it, signed Michael Crabtree in the wake of that. So they have a history of this. I don't know if you remember this, Paul, but during the regular season, they were doing some weird things with their injury report with Lamar Jackson with his injury, and they were called out for it, and they got penalized by the league for it. So this organization has a history of doing some shady things, whether it's in free agency with injury reports, and you can't trust the Ravens. Can't trust them.
All right, so screw the Ravens. What about you guys? Now I'm worried about you guys now because I saw the gif of Maxx Crosby, and if you're a Raiders fan, that's exactly what you want to hear. Fuck everybody. Yeah, I'm on. Let's go. And okay, maybe the Raiders just got Tyler Linderbaum, and they're getting Fernando and all these guys, and then they're like, sweet, now we just acquired Maxx Crosby. Let's freaking go. Maybe that's what they do. Or so is the keeping him thing legit, or is that just leverage? Don't you want to say you want to keep him so you could trade him for the maximum value to someone else? And what is maximum value? A lot of these teams are in on Maxx Crosby, just spent a bunch of money. The Ravens screwed the Raiders. So now what? Can they trade him for what? Do they still get the same price of 2 number ones and whatever? Or are they going to keep him, or do they trade him for a discount? What the hell happens next?
So I'll try to put this in a nice, neat package for you, Paul.
Okay. Great.
Now, the skeptical side of me says he could still be traded because going back to the combine, John Spytek got in front of the microphone and he said he expects Maxx Crosby to play for the Raiders in 2026. Now, inevitably, that could happen anyway. But he said that weeks before they traded him. So which means that with a good offer, Spytek is willing to move off of his words, his public words in backing Maxx Crosby being a Raider. So while if I'm a Raider fan, I'm excited to have Maxx Crosby back. He did say all the right things on the way out, saying that he wanted to end his career as a Raider. We just didn't know that turnaround would be this quick. But so he said all the right things on the way out, and fans, for the most part, have welcomed him back. But I'm going to say something that's not going to be popular among Raider fans and among people because everyone's praising the Maxx Crosby move back or revert back to the Raiders and say, oh, yeah, man, he's back. That's great for Crosby and great for the Raiders. And it is on paper to have the additions that the Raiders have from free agency, and then you put Maxx Crosby back into that roster. That defense is going to should be pretty good, assuming the Raiders can finalize all the contracts that they've had in free agency. Quiddy Pay, Quay Walker at linebacker, Jacoby Dean. But the other side of this is, if you read the reports after Crosby was traded to the Ravens, he wanted to leave Las Vegas, as I said, because he wanted to be with a contender. And yes, the Raiders are going to draft Fernando Mendoza. He's a rookie quarterback. You can't expect him, while it could happen, we saw with Jayden Daniels not too long ago, a rookie quarterback leading a team to the NFC Championship game. It's not the norm. Is Maxx Crosby going to be happy if this team misses the playoffs again? The report came out from The Athletic that Maxx Crosby sat down with Mark Davis months before this trade happened in the offseason, and they agreed that it was time to part ways, that his timeline basically didn't match with the Raiders' timeline. They're going to go through a full rebuild, and Maxx Crosby wants to win now. So while Raiders fans should be happy that Crosby's back on paper because you have a better roster, just remember he wanted to leave. He wanted to leave. And the only reason he's back in the Raider uniform now is because the team that he wanted to go, that he was traded to, rejected him. So for all of this cheering and happy that Maxx Crosby's back, just remember, had the Ravens gone through with the trade, he'd be yelling Flock Nation in a Baltimore Ravens uniform. So, yeah, what's the old saying, Paul? A person is only as faithful as their options. What options does Maxx Crosby have now that the Raiders are not going to get 2 first-rounders for him? Because, as you said, teams have already spent the money in free agency and made moves. Dallas Cowboys offered a first-rounder and a second-rounder. Reports came out immediately that they were no longer interested because they acquired Rashawn Gary and had moved on. So if you're John Spytek now, you're not going to give up Maxx Crosby, an elite player, for a discount. So you stick with it, and you put a happy face on and say, everything is kumbaya, everyone hug and kiss. But I'm not forgetting. I have a very good memory, right? If the deal was on the table, if a good deal was on the table, Maxx Crosby could be in another uniform next year for all we know.
Mo, I wish we had more time. We're simply running out of time. So my last question is this. Feel free to plug it as you will. Jets free agency has happened. They signed a bunch of guys. I'll throw a bunch of them at you, from Joseph Asai, Demario Davis is back, baby, Kingsley Enagbare, Nashawn Wright, Dane Belton, some Andrew Beck, Max Mitchell action, if that revs your engine. Mo, is there something on the Jets free agency or trades? Obviously, they've Minka Fitzpatrick and Geno, they've brought in a couple of those. Anything you want to say to Jet fans who are watching the show right now on their free agency, what they've done so far that you like, hate, or anything in between?
I know Jets fans say that winning the offseason or free agency doesn't mean much because they've won free agency in the offseason previous years and hasn't amounted to much. But I will say this. With the defensive pieces that they added, I like bringing, and I know this is Demario Davis is an older player, but having a quarterback of your defense in Demario Davis, and hasn't seen a drop off in New Orleans. I think you have to give Aaron Glenn a chance because he's a defensive minded head coach. Of course, you got to get the quarterback right. You got to get some production out of your offense. But with Aaron Glenn being a defensive minded head coach and the pieces they brought in, starting with Demario Davis, I think this team is going to be headed in the right direction. I'm not saying they're a playoff team, but for the people that want to run Aaron Glenn out of town because it wasn't good last year, give him a shot. Because I will say his former lead head coach in Dan Campbell, it didn't look good in Detroit when Dan Campbell first got there. And I know Dan Campbell and Aaron Glenn are 2 different people, but it didn't look great with Dan Campbell his first year. And they made strides his second, third, fourth year as time went on. And sometimes, just like quarterbacks, just like young players, you have to give head coaches a shot to build their program. You can't do it in one offseason. As a Raider fan who's watched turnover, head coach after head coach after head coach, I understand that it takes some time to build your program out. And a lot of times when you're early in your head coaching career, you bring in schematic fits and fans roll their eyes at it because they say, is the player good? Yeah, he's a scheme thing, knows the system, but is he a good player? And I will say the Jets fans, with the offseason the Jets had, bringing in some of those players that you mentioned, and now having Geno Smith, as I said, who should have a better year with you guys than he had with the Raiders, assuming Jets coaches are on the same page, it should start looking a little brighter. And you have all those draft picks over the next couple of years. And Muji, in my opinion, has done a good job of at least getting premium draft capital for some of the players that you let go. I mean, who thought Sauce Gardner was going to fetch 2 first-rounders and a player on top of that? So the Jets have a lot of draft capital. They have some veterans on that defensive side of the ball, and I think it's going to start to look a little bit better for them.
Mo, I love you. I love every time we get a chance to talk. It's the best. And okay, the phone is on. So if you want to give me another call anywhere in the next month and 14 days, I'm going to be available. So just so you know, you got my number. Hit me up.
Just know if I do hit you up, it's not going to be for a trade involving the number 1 overall pick.
Okay. Well, that's all right. Well, anytime I see Moe Moton come across the screen, that's a good day. A good day it is. Mo, you're the best, baby, and we're going to have to do this again real soon.
Appreciate you, Paul. Talk to you again soon.
There he is. Moe Moton of Bleacher Report, baby. A national columnist and also covers the Las Vegas Raiders. Shout out to the 800 people in the room. Good chat. That was a lot of fun. Live conversation was good. I saw we got a lot of comments and things, and thank you guys so much. Mo's a good buddy of mine, and we were texting earlier this offseason. I said, if this Geno Smith thing happens, we got to get you on the show. Any excuse to get Mo on the show is always a good time. So, yeah, a lot has happened since the last time we spoke, everybody. Again, every time the Jets make an addition, we hit up the YouTube shorts and give you guys the latest info that we can. So some fascinating insights there from Moe Moton on Dylan Parham, the Jets' new left guard, I would imagine, although there's still some flexibility as experience at left guard, center, right guard. Joe Tippmann has experience at center guard, obviously. So maybe there could be some swapping happening here on the offensive line. We'll see what the Jets choose to do. Moe Moton's great. Folks, do me a favor. Again, we have 800 people in the room. Spectacular. 150 of those 800 are watching on YouTube right now. So, folks, make sure you guys like the video. Hit subscribe here on YouTube. And we've reached yet another milestone. It is absolutely incredible. And thank you guys so much for all the support during free agency. It's been pretty cool to watch. I am absolutely titillated by it, to be candid with you. And we have just surpassed over 8,460 subscribers, baby. Let's freaking go. Yes! You are now 7 subscribers away from 8,470. Every 10 we hit, it's another milestone, another milestone, another milestone. Again, this has been exciting. I've been pumping out more content than I've ever pumped out before. We do a live show every single day here on the channel at 7:30 in the morning. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, we have Boy Green Meets Woody. So we have a 3 o'clock show talking about more of the Jets free agency waves that have happened. Every move they do, I give you guys a YouTube short of 3 minutes or less, giving you guys the pertinent information, contract details, rumors, everything that we're hearing out there in the universe. So again, guys, thank you kindly, and make sure you guys do that, everyone. Mark Sacchetti says, are you using a different hat for every short vid, BG? I haven't been, but I could. Like on this table over here, because I'm sort of redecorating. On this table over here, I'm a massive hat guy. I've got 1,000 hats sitting on this table. BG hats, Jet hats, all over the place. And then down that hallway are all Jet hats. So I was doing that for a while. Every new short, I'd be like, whoop, 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 whoop. But there was so much news happening, I couldn't leave my desk. I had to Dylan Parham story, new kicker story, this. So I didn't have time to switch my hats. But yes, I did for a little while. I was switching hats over and over and over again. So that is beautiful. Absolutely. So, folks, why don't we do this? We're getting so much love in the chat. First off, if you're a fan of the show and you want to support, a way you can do it beyond the freeway is if you're watching on YouTube right now, hit that money sign. Gift channel membership. Send in super chats. Do you have questions about all these free agents that have come in for the Jets? What move is next? We can talk about that here on the channel. And you can gift channel memberships. Every time you gift a channel membership, you get a raffle ticket for a contest. We do free giveaways or do giveaways, every month on this channel. Every $3 you spend gets your raffle ticket. We've had people win raffles with only one ticket. So we try to make it as affordable as possible for you guys out there in the audience. Here is this month's raffle. We've been doing a lot of fun stuff recently, so you guys can enjoy some of this activity that's been happening on the program. We got a nice little tumbler cup this time and some extra action here for our New York Jets giveaway. So I hope you guys can jump on the train. Toot, toot, baby. Here it is. Let me throw this up on the big board here on our screen. There, we got this cool Jets tumbler cup, a 24-ouncer. It's got every logo the Jets have ever had on it. I love it, personally. I mean, it's right here. I have it right here. Here we go. Out of the packaging. There you go. Let me go full screen, I guess, so you guys can see this. It's a sweet cup. This brand spanking new. Look at this. New York Titans on here. New York Jets. Got the Jet logo here. Oh, yeah, this is sweet. I want to keep this personally. This is sweet. I don't have an extra one of these. It's a one-for-one deal, unfortunately, so I only got one of these. That's a brand new, but we'll also, on top of that cool tumbler cup that we're giving away, we got a couple of New York Jets nostalgic throwbacks. New York Jets nostalgic throwback long sleeve, a throwback New York Jets training camp hoodie from the past. So we got some cool items that are on this month's raffle. All you have to do is spend $3 on the channel to be eligible for said giveaways. All righty, folks, let's do this. People asking how much. Again, it's a $3 raffle ticket. So if you join the Boy Green Espresso Club, which, by the way, we have 2 YouTube membership groups. I'll give a quick plug on that before we get to the phone lines here on the program. Okay, we have 2 YouTube membership groups if you want to support the channel. You get, hopefully, like I said, you either get a laugh, you get some information, a little bit of both here on the channel. If you want to support, there's 2 ways to do so. We have 2 YouTube membership levels. It's the Boy Green Coffee Club, that's $2.99 a month, and the Boy Green Espresso Club, that's $5.99 a month. The Boy Green Coffee Club, you get a loyalty badge next to your name, so you stand out in the chat. Like, for instance, Troy here. Here's a good example. You can see that he's got that little loyalty badge right next to his name, so you get that. The emojis are custom made by our friends over at Jets Worldwide, all one word, Jets Worldwide. They make all the emojis on the channel that can immortalize some of our favorite callers and moments in Jets history. You get early access to new videos. You guys got the early access to the Trevor Sikkema interview last week. You guys got that before anyone else in the public. Member shout-outs. I give special extra member shout-outs here on every live show when I see members are interacting. And priority replies every time on YouTube videos you guys comment in. I try to catch up and answer any of your additional questions or comments you have. But a new membership level was created in January. It's a Boy Green Espresso Club. We have more members-only content. There's members-only shorts where I tell you all kinds behind the scenes about Jets and guests and all kinds of other fun stories. Those are in the members-only shorts club. And then the creme de la creme of this level is every month at the end of the month, we do a members-only live show. That is only for you guys, not the general public, not the Boy Green Coffee Club, just you. And we have over 30 members to the Boy Green Espresso Club. So thank you, everybody, for jumping on the train. It's been a lot of fun. So again, that is $5.99. So you get to join and have those shows. Both, by the way, those first 2 shows have been over 4 hours apiece for the Espresso Club. Which has been awesome. So over 4 hours in January, over 4 hours in February. I imagine March is going to be another 4+ hours. I would be led to it. Also, one more perk. If you're a Boy Green Espresso Club member, you get 5 raffle tickets to our contest. And every month you remain a member, you continue to get 5 raffle tickets to every contest moving forward, as long as you remain a member. Again, raffle tickets are $3 a piece. 5 raffle tickets, it's a $15 value, but you're only spending $6 because that's what the Boy Green Espresso Club is. So we give you your money back with raffle tickets, plus you get all the perks of being an Espresso Club member, and you get all the perks of the Coffee Club membership. So, folks, hopefully you guys take full advantage of all of that as well. Troy Sturdy says, BG, you need a BG tumbler in your merch shop. I'll look into that. That's a good idea. I like that. Yeah, get a little bit of one of those cups. That'd be great. And yes, maybe more membership levels in the future, but I try not to rush that process. I try to let it happen naturally. I don't just want to randomly charge you guys more money for random things. When something hits me that I think, oh, wow, I think people would really appreciate this. The Espresso Club idea to me just made a lot of sense to be able to do a members-only show. I do live shows all the time for the public. And for the Coffee Club, but I don't get to do it for the a special show where it never hits the public, it never hits the Coffee Club, and so that was just a cool idea in my own head, and I'm glad it's been so well received, for sure. All right, let's do this, folks. We're going to play a quick HEP timeout. If you guys would like to call in, now is the time to do so. If you have thoughts on the free agents they've signed, thoughts on what you think they should do next, what does this mean for the draft? There's so many questions, and we have answers. We'll be right back after this.
1, 2, 3. Whoa! Boy Green, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. Talking Jets football, man. All right. Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily, Boy Green Daily. The New York Jets Football Club. Offense, defense, defense, special teams, watch Jets football with Boy Green. Everyone, J-E-T-S, Jets, Jets. Boy Green, fucking daily, fucking daily, fucking daily. Talking Jets football, man. All right. Boy Green, fucking daily, fucking daily, fucking daily. Offense, defense, special teams, watch Jets football with Boy Green. J-E-T-S, Jets, Jets. Let's go!
You heard Hep, let's go. That is the pinned comment on youtube.com/boygreen25. If you'd like to call into the show, now is the time to do so. We stream live in 3 different places. That is on Facebook. That is on this YouTube channel. That's on my Twitter account, @boygreen25. And also, 2 shout-outs. The people that replay this show, they don't watch it live. They enjoy it later. Thank you. West Coast people and others out there in the audience that get to rewatch Boy Green Daily later. And the audio-only listeners of this show. That is the roots of this program. I am never here if I don't do that audio show over 10 years ago. So I've enjoyed. Back then, it was called the Jet Zone. It was the first podcast I ever did about the Jets. It was called the Jet Zone, and I did the Jets podcast all the time, and it was a lot of fun. And now it's evolved into Boy Green Daily, which I'm very proud of. So shout out to everyone out there in the audience. All right, let's get into a couple of things here. Let's get into some of your questions and comments. The phone lines are open. That's a pinned comment on youtube.com/boygreen25. Troy Sturgis says, if you do a tumbler cup, let's make it 32 ounces. Hell, let's make it 48 ounces. Let's make it as big as possible. I'm all for it. Yes, I'm working on potentially maybe other names for future clubs. Sure. Yes, let's get into that. We haven't gotten a chance to do a video on it yet. We'll try to. I'll try to do that today. Another YouTube short after we get off air. But yeah, Carson Wentz is no longer a surefire bet to be QB2. Mark Sacchetti, thank you for this question. So the Jets, by all of the reporting, they wanted to get QB1 locked in first, and then they were going to figure out QB2. Well, QB1, of course, is locked in. The Jets struck a trade for that man, that jersey behind me, Geno Smith, and now he is the next QB1 of the Jets. Now that the Jets have figured that out, QB2 is next. Now, according to the reporters yesterday, once they got Geno Smith locked in, they had other things they wanted to check off the bucket list. Kicker, Cade York is in. We can talk about him later. Dylan Parham, guard, to fill the ABT hole at a minimum. Got into that. So once they figured out all that, then they were going to get into QB2. Now, according to the latest reports, now, again, this is how quickly things can change. On March 10th, Connor Hughes said, this is after the Jets got Geno Smith, they're squarely in the mix now for Carson Wentz, and like there's a lot of momentum. We're like, all right, I guess Carson Wentz is going to be the guy. Then last night, Connor Hughes and Zach Rosebud say, whoa, not so fast. Carson Wentz has options. Oh, who knows if he wants to come to the Jets? I'm like, okay, I guess. All right. So apparently Carson Wentz, let me give you, because I have it's in my column. Let me review my own column here. Let me see I want to give you guys the exact words they gave here on Carson Wentz. Here it is. Here's a quote from Zach Rosebud. Quote, the Jets are still exploring their options. They had interest in Carson Wentz, but he's unlikely to be signing with the Jets as of now, according to multiple sources. Things can still change, but that's where things stand. Quote, there's been a lot of interest in Carson Wentz, and we've stressed this over and over and over on the podcast. Frank Reich loves Carson Wentz. Frank Reich wants Carson Wentz not to be a starter. That's Geno Smith, but he wants Carson Wentz in the room. From talking to multiple sources, while there has been interest from the Jets, Carson Wentz has other options on the table, and it's not just the Jets asking for Carson Wentz. I'm not saying it's dead, Carson Wentz to the Jets, but it's seeming more unlikely because of some of the other opportunities Carson Wentz has in front of him. Carson Wentz, of course, is 33. Last year, he was on the Minnesota Vikings, started in 5 games, had a 2-3 record as a starting quarterback. He had 1,200 yards, completed 65% of his passes, had 6 touchdowns, 5 picks. It was sort of mid. It's whatever. By the way, one more note here from Zach Rosebud before we get back to the phone lines. Quote, as of right now, it doesn't feel like Carson is going to be the number 2. Whereas if you asked me this yesterday, I would have said it did feel like that. Connor Hughes did say the interest in Wentz is real. And he says there isn't, quote unquote, non-interest from Carson Wentz and the Jets. He said, I checked in on this to see if he had either ruled them out or hates them. It's not that. It's just sometimes when you're a backup quarterback, there are better options out there. Okay. So in other words, Carson Wentz, fuck you, buddy. If you don't want to be here, get lost. Okay? See ya. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. Okay? I'm not going to be crying. Oh, can't you win us? Suck it, buddy. Then we'll find somebody else. Unbelievable. Carson Wentz, yeah, maybe I'll come to the Jets or maybe I won't. Okay, we got our QB1, buddy. We'll find another QB2. There's got to be another one out there in the waters. We'll put the fishing rod back out there. Carson Wentz? We're losing our bananas about Carson Wentz. What the hell? All right, well, Jets off season. You never know what's going to happen. We have 900 now people in the room. Appreciate you guys out in the audience. Let's go to the phone lines. Hap kicks us off. Hap.
Hey, Paul. Hey, fellas. I heard Andy Dalton's name mentioned also as I think Frank Reich worked with him as well.
Yes, in Carolina in 2023, after he got fired from the Colts, he got hired as a head coach of the Panthers. He was on the staff, and they identified Andy and signed him very quickly in free agency in his first year as the head coach, months after he got hired. And he was there until, unfortunately, Frank Reich got fired in the middle of that season, about 11 games in or something. So, yes, he does have a connection to Andy Dalton. The Panthers have Bryce Young. They just signed Kenny Pickett, who's a former first-rounder. And Andy is hanging around on the roster for now. I don't think they're keeping three guys. So if the Jets wait him out, I think Andy Dalton will eventually get cut, or he'll get traded for like the same sort of swap that just happened here with Geno, where you swap a 6 and a 7, which the Jets have the ability to do that if they want, or they can wait it out for him to get cut. Yeah, I would say at this point, Andy Dalton's got to be like the favorite if this Wentz stuff is falling off. And it's falling off. Well, okay, I'll try to get over it. Andy Dalton makes a lot of sense for sure.
I'm looking, maybe this Penn State guard may be in play at 16 now. What do you think?
Yeah. Throughout this process, when that was first brought to my attention as a possibility, I saw it in a Daniel Jeremiah mock draft. And I'm like, oh man, that seems like overkill that since 2020, the Jets have invested more first-round picks in the offensive line than anybody. And while some of them aren't here anymore, right? Mekhi Becton isn't here. ABT now isn't here. Right. They're not. So to have three of your linemen be first-round picks, that'd be Olu Muiwa, Armand Membu, and then Vega in theory, seems like a lot. But if you're going to and I thought that initially, but I've just been sort of marinating on it now that it's become more possible that, if you're going to overindulge in any position, why not let it be a position that has influence over everything else? And that's what an offensive line does. They protect your quarterback. They open up the run game. The receivers can have a chance to get open longer. Running game, passing out of the backfield to your running backs. While people could say whatever they want about taking a guard in the first round. I know it's not the sexiest thing, but that could have long-term impacts. And Daniel Jeremiah is reserved that not only is Vega the best offensive lineman in the draft, and Daniel Jeremiah said that, but he thinks he's just going to be an instant Pro Bowler stud. Give me more of those on the team, man.
I don't mind having a top 5 offensive line. I'll be honest with you with there.
Yeah.
Do you think the Baltimore's going to be incur a fine or some kind of draft pick penalty? I mean, they really screwed Oakland over as far as, they signed Linderbaum and a lot of different things.
Yeah. I mean, again, I feel awful. And for Moe, I'm glad we got into that a little bit. I know that's not directly Jets related, but I feel for Moe. That sucks, man. Because, what about the range of emotions? I saw Maxx Crosby after he got traded to the Ravens, gave a 15-minute thing from his house. He has a podcast studio at his house and gave this emotional thing about how much the Raiders meant to him and how he's ready for the Ravens and all this. And then, boop, might as well delete it, I guess, because now they're like, oh my God, for him to pour out and get so vulnerable. And then now, sorry, just kidding, you're a Raider. It sounds like from the NFL side, and this is going to suck for the Raiders, that there is no recourse to be had here, that no matter what we all think, the sketching, and I think it is completely bullshit. I think the Ravens 100%, they went down the road and then they just changed their mind, said, you know what? Nah, we're good. We want to keep our first round picks. And I think they got cold feet and they did whatever they did. According to the NFL bylaws and the CB and everything, passing a physical is under the absolute discretion of the team. So for any reason, I trade for you, Hap, and you come to my facility, I'm just like, nah, you don't pass, or you pass.
He's got a hangnail I don't like.
100%. From what the rules say, the tolerance for every NFL team's team of doctors is different. So maybe Maxx Crosby would fail with the Ravens, but there's another team that he'd pass for. So it does sound super sketchy. It is. I feel terrible for Raiders fans. That's awful. Yeah. And now I don't think they're getting 2 first-round picks. I don't think they get that offer anymore. Maybe they still
not
will.
Getting even one draft,
right?
Not even 1 first-round pick.
Right. Yeah, and that sucks. So so it sounds like, long story short, that he won't. There won't be any recourse. Like there's no punishment to come. It just is what it is, and it's up to the Ravens. So that's unfortunate.
What's Crosby's salary this year?
I think it's $30 million. But let me see on old Maxx Crosby for his cap hit this year. Let's take a gander at old Maxx Crosby, who, by the way, is as talented as they come. I love Maxx Crosby. He's terrific. Yeah, for 2026, his cap hit. Oh my God, it's $35 million, and his base salary is $30 million.
That's the problem right there. Yeah, $35 million. That's a lot of money.
And think about how that. And think about real quick, right? So the Raiders, they've been spending all their money. Yeah, now you need to account for $35 million back as you're getting him back. The Ravens suddenly just get $30 million from the skies. They were supposed to pay Crosby, and now also they didn't have to because they bailed on the trade. 100%, right? We talked about it.
Yeah, like palatable, because what did Linderbaum get? Like 27 million or 26 million?
Oh yeah, he got crazy money. Yeah.
So they just switched them out. They said, okay, we'll give you Crosby, we'll have Linderbaum in there, and and now that's all. But they have a lot of money, Oakland, don't they?
They do. So thankfully, I wonder what the NFL would have done if because the Raiders started free agency with $125 million. They had insane money. So they could afford this crazy situation to happen. But what if they couldn't? What if Maxx Crosby left, and by all counts, he's getting traded. They signed all these deals. Tyler Linderbaum, Moe was going through him, to Kobe Dean, all these guys. And all of a sudden, he gets thrust back on your salary. You're like, oh, shit, we can't pay him.
Way over the cap.
What the hell do we? Yeah, right. What do we do now? You're not allowed to be over the cap. So, does the NFL give them a pardon? I'm sorry. Do they say, sorry, pal, you got to break your word with a couple of those free agents you said you were going to sign because you can't sign them, and now they're free agents again?
Linderbaum's free agent again?
Right. Could you imagine? Right. And then the Ravens get him back in some sketchy way. Oh boy. So I feel any Raiders fans that are hanging over that are still watching the show because of Moe, I feel terrible for you guys. And the good thing is, it's wipe your tears with all the Benjamins you have in the bank. You're going to have Fernando Mendoza. You have Brock Bowers. You have Ashton Genty. Apparently, I didn't see. I got to catch. One of the things I'm going to have to do is just spend time just catching up on where the hell everyone went, because I'm just so worried about Jets land here that I got to catch up on. Kenneth Walker's a Chief. I got to catch up on all that stuff. But he mentioned Jalen Naylor. That's a fine player, but they need more receivers. But you have Maxx Crosby now and all those free agent additions. Raiders, you're going to be fine. I mean, the AFC West is tough, but you're going to figure it out. Good luck.
Did Denver make any moves for running back?
I saw they re-signed J.K. Dobbins, and a pretty decent deal. I think it was a 2-year deal for $20 million. So he got decent money out there, but not game changing. If you're hinting at what I think you could be hinting at, Mr. Hep.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Thanks. Peace out.
There he is, Hep. A lot of great questions here on the show. Yes, is a tag and trade still in the cards? Possibly. Well, Chiefs are definitely out, obviously, with Kenneth. Broncos were the team that was very gung-ho about Breece Hall, so I'm curious if that comes into play. Now, the only problem with this strategy is if I was the Jets, okay, and I wanted to tag and trade Breece Hall, I would have tried to strike that already. I don't think I'd want to do it now, unless you love Jeremiah Love. If that's the plan, then okay, then right, everything lines up for you to get your guy. But I probably, in a perfect world, I would have wanted to do this if I was going to tag and trade Breece. I call up the Chiefs, call up the Broncos, whoever all the teams were interested. The Jets knew who they were. Call them up, say, let's work out the tag and trade right now. Bing, boom, bam. So you tag Breece real quick. You tag and trade him, you work out the deal. And then in free agency, I signed Tyler Algier. He got 2 years for $14 million or something. I think it may have even been less than that. And you just get a rock solid guy, and then you could do a Jeremiah Love or something in the draft. That's what I would have done. Now you just sort of lost out on a lot of the free agent options. And then you're just sort of putting all your eggs in the basket of Jeremiah Love, which, by the way, you could do, because if you were taking him number 2 overall, you have no one to worry about. The Raiders ain't taking him number 2 overall, or number 1 overall, rather. So that could make sense. But, oh, my God, that is brutal. Oh God, the Maxx Crosby drama. The Ravens are a bunch of scumbags, man. That is fucked up. That is unbelievable. I don't buy any of the bullshit Eric DaCosta was selling about, no, was this, yeah, just conveniently Trey Hendrickson was, nah, man. I smell the one line, I smell BS on the scent of your breath. Remember, it's that Kanye West little Yeezus line there? Smelling some BS. That's for damn sure. All right, let's head back to the phone lines. We have 1,000 people now in the room. Wow, a very popular show this morning. Appreciate everybody that's tuning into the program. We have Johnny Boy up next. Johnny.
Hey, BG. Good morning, sir. How are you, man?
Top of the morning to you, sir. It's good to see you.
You as well. Hey, the Dylan Parham pick,
yeah.
Right? He's essentially the AVT again without all the injuries, though, right? The Swiss Army
right. Yep.
Played at left guard, right guard,
center
as well. I think he did that in Memphis, if I'm not mistaken.
And the NFL, for that matter. He has gotten snaps. I don't know if I still have it on my sheet. Let me see. It's on one of these pieces of paper here. Let me see. Which one do I have it on? I had all his snaps written down. Okay, I believe this is it for Parham. He had yes, it looks like these are the numbers. So in 2022, he had 789 snaps at left guard, 137 snaps at center, 110 snaps at right guard. In 2023, he had 959 snaps at left guard, 82 snaps at center. So predominantly in the league, he's been a left guard. He has like nearly 2,000 snaps at left guard in his career. He has actually not nearly. He has well more. He has nearly 3,000 snaps at left guard in his career. But he also has he has right around 1,000 snaps in his career at right guard. And for center, he has about, give or take, let's call it 200 and change. So yeah, he has experience all over the place. And so he is incredibly healthy. That's the thing for Jet fans to know. He's appeared in at least 15 games in every season he's played, which is 4 years. He just completed his rookie contract with the Raiders. So he's got some versatility. He's always available. And as Moe Moton sort of described, he thinks he's just an average guard, which God bless. That's what we want. And he came relatively dirt cheap. So I love that too.
Yeah, I also doing a little bit more research on him. I saw that in high school, the dude played linebacker, defensive end, and tight end. Just to kind of
love that
versatility in this guy, right? Like it's I say all of that because I think with this move, I don't think they go and get a guard anymore. I think they're going to continue to keep trying to bolster up the defense, and I think they're going to sprinkle in a lot of offensive weapons there. So I think a weapon at 16 might be the play, man, or the 2 second-round picks, or dude, they might be trying to trade back into the first round. I mean, could you imagine we're there and then, breaking news, the Jets have just traded in back into the first round and they go player. Like, it would intrigue me to see if they would make a move like that if they're seeing Ty Simpson falling, right? And they would, trade back up and they think so highly of Ty Simpson that they end up doing something to that. I mean, would you want something like that? And I say this, man, like, I know there's been a lot of conversations too. Like there've been, oh my God, AVT and all this stuff in regards to AVT.
Hey, by the way, can we answer a question? We're getting a super chat here about AVT actually. So let's go to your buddy Chef Kevin Gilbert.
Wow.
Fastest food review sends in, aka Chef Kevin Gilbert, a $2 super chat. Good morning, Boy Green and Johnny Boy. Do you guys hate AVT more than Brees? Thoughts?
I mean, my stance on AVT. My stance on AVT has been sayonara. Like, I get rid of him. The dude can't be healthy. I never liked the injuries that he had. The pec injury, the bicep injury, the tricep injury. Like, those are the things that he uses a lot. Right, he's constantly in that, in the what's it called, in the phone booth, essentially, right? So he's doing all these moves, trying to keep inside, and et cetera, et cetera. You need that. So let him be somebody else's issue. Let him be the Patriots' problem. That's a good thing for us. right? He plays
Sure.
and look, I don't wish no injury on no player, so I'm gonna start off
Of
with it,
course.
right? But
Yeah.
I hope when he plays against the Jets that we go off in what we have. I liked AVT because AVT, anytime he was ever asked to do anything, he did it.
100%.
So I know he's coming off the whole Brees Hall stuff like that, putting the Brees Hall being all emotional, but you know what? F AVT, dude, because he's gone. And like F
Yeah.
him.
100%. The Band-Aid's ripped off on AVT. Again, I loved him when he was here. All the I love all the Jets that are here. And he was versatile and he was all these things, but he was injury prone.
Mm-hmm.
He appeared in 43 out of 85 possible games. He had three of his 5 seasons, 60%, if you want to do the math, 60% of his seasons ended with season-ending injuries with the Jets. Torn tricep on that side, torn tricep on the other side, torn Achilles. Like, I no thank you. I'm good. So the fact he went to the Patriots, I hate his guts. I almost hate the Patriots more than I love the Jets, and I do a daily Jet show. So AVT going over to New England, it just incenses me. It pisses me off, and so yeah, I don't root injury. I don't want him to fall down the stairs. But every time he plays the Jets, I hope he gives up 1,000 sacks, and we just beat the shit out of him. And then on Brees, me and you have shared our thoughts on the whole Brees Hall stuff. In a perfect world, they sign him to a long-term deal for relative good money for him, relative good money for us, and we go to town. But we'll see what happens. There's just a lot of extracurricular activity that happens with Brees. And to me, he wants to get paid, and we'll see if the Jets are the team that pays him.
Yeah, I mean, Brees right now is probably in his room in the dark listening to My Chemical Romance and All the American Rejects and Puddle of Mud, So watching some anime inside there.
Maybe some Evanescence,
Yeah,
that
Evanescence, definitely Evanescence.
Wake me up inside.
Yeah. Hey, but no, the Daniel pick, I know he was getting a lot of stuff like, how can you get this guy over AVT and all this? I'm like, yo, AVT's gone, bro. Kick rocks on that dude. It's over with him, man. Like, F, dude. It is what it is. And I tell you this, I wanted to ask you this.
Oh, sure.
Dude, I hate
Thank you, Chef, by the way. I appreciate that, Chef. Thank you.
I hate the Dolphins way more than I hate the Patriots. I can't stand that.
Nah. Again, I think, and we have a wide range. Again, we have 1,100 people now in the room. Wow, this is a very popular show this morning. So appreciate everyone that's tuning in. I would say I think it depends on ages of Jet fans. To me, I turned 33. Hey, we'll be celebrating my birthday together with the draft next month, so I'm looking forward to it. As a 33-year-old, the team that's haunted me my entire life has been the New England Patriots. So basically, since I was 7, the New England Patriots 20-year dynasty has run my life. And then it went off for a few years. Now, perhaps it's back in a different way. And so I hate the Patriots. I loathe the Patriots. The greatest moment of my fandom on this planet is the Jets going into Foxborough and beating the New England Patriots in the playoffs. And maybe I would have a good memory of the Dolphins if the Dolphins ever made the playoffs and would win a playoff game. But that hasn't happened since I was 7 years old. So, it's hard to care about a team that's so irrelevant. So to me, the Patriots are the one that I hate the most. I get the slightly older fans that got to live through Marino, 83 to 2000, basically. That 17-year run was the Tom Brady to me is the Dan Marino to them. So I imagine those slightly older fans, which I guess pops you right in there, Johnny Boy, being a few years older than me. I guess that is it for Dolphin fans, for people that hate the Dolphins.
I'm the ageist, right?
I guess that did just happen there. To me, I don't know how many people hate Buffalo. I mean, I know that happened in the 90s where they went to a bunch of Super Bowls, but they lost them all. So, like, they're sort of mildly annoying now. I don't like running into Bills fans going, "Oh, Josh Allen and everything," and I'm just like, all right, win something for God's sakes, all right. So it's probably Patriots, Dolphins, Bills in terms of my hate scale.
Yeah. Hey, that being said itself, guys, yo, shout out to Chef, man. Go out and vote for Chef. He has a
Yeah.
big battle today. So, Chef is one of the OGs. Super endorsement towards Chef Kev, our guy. So make sure you guys go and support him, vote for him. Other than that, dude, I hate all them teams that are on our division.
Yeah.
All right. So
they all suck. Yeah.
Let the Jets have a winning season. Let's surprise people, the pick that we got, but I don't think at 16 anymore. It's the Penn State guard. They signed it for 2 years. They could go anywhere now, which is awesome that the New York Jets have put themselves in a position where they could really get any of those players that we've been talking about for the longest time. And I like the way that they're moving. So with that being said, go Jets. Make sure you guys smash BGs, like, and hit the sub. Boy Green Daily. Peace.
There we go. That is Johnny Boy joining us here on the program. Yes, Boy Green Daily. We have 1,100 people watching the show right now, so thank you so much. If you are watching on YouTube, that is youtube.com/@BoyGreen25. We have 83 likes. We have 1,100 people watching across our social media portals. Hit that like button, people. That is free to do. That like button is right there. We're trying to make a chase to 10,000 subscribers. So no matter where you're watching, hop on over to YouTube. Hit that subscribe button, baby. We're now 7 subscribers away from 8,470 subscribers as we continue to grow this puppy. So let's friggin' go. Back to the phone lines. We go to C up next. C?
Hey, BG, how you doing? I hate everybody. I hate everybody. I hate everybody.
Representation. I respect that.
Yes. But most of all, I have to say I hate the Dolphins more than the Patriots because I lived in Florida for 20 years and I had to listen to I had to watch football in places with, Dolphin fans and they were right in my face all the time. So I hate them a little. I hate them a little bit more, but I think that I would probably kill all of them if I could, and I didn't get in trouble if I didn't get in trouble.
Right.
But I think I'm pretty happy with Parham, the guard we got. I think that he is equal, and I think maybe a little bit better than Simpson. He's a little more versatile. Mm-hmm. And, Simpson kind of went downhill last year.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we got this kid. And I don't think we're going to take a guard at 16. I think we're going to wait till maybe the 4th or 5th round. I still think we can get a serviceable guard at that point. Mm-hmm. And one other thing I did want to say. Yesterday I was really, I think a lot of people these days try to scam other people, so this is not football related. Okay.
That's all right. Okay.
So I went to about a week ago, I started going to a chiropractor because I'm trying to do everything I could for my back before I opt for more surgery.
Right.
So I go to the chiropractor and the guy, really nice guy, and he's doing his little adjustments and talking to me, takes some pictures of me and makes me stand on this machine. And he said, it's just going to be your copay from your insurance and that's it. And I said, okay, this guy's really, really good. So I go back yesterday and he gives me this friggin' book.
Okay,
let's go full screen. About 25 pages of pictures of myself with lines through it, pictures at the bottom of my feet. And he says to me, well, you're going to need these things for your feet that cost $375. And my insurance don't cover that. Then he said to me, wait a minute. Then he said to me, and he brings out this contract and he said, to take care of you for a year, it's going to be $4,700. And we have a payment plan and everything right here. And I'm like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm like, this is a guy I thought was a real nice guy. And all of a sudden he wants to charge me $5,000 because your insurance don't cover that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I said to the guy, I says, hey, man, I can't afford that. I said, that's a car payment, you know,
Yeah.
$300 a month to go to the
Yeah.
chiropractor. I was so friggin' bummed out when I got home. I
Yeah.
was like, man, now I'm not going back anymore because it seems like everybody wants to just get something from you, you know?
100%.
Oh
Yeah,
my God.
I had a back problem nowhere near what you've had. I had a back problem somewhere within the last, I don't know, 10 years or something. And I had never heard of a chiropractor. So I called my dad first. I said, hey, I think I'm going to go to this chiropractor. He went, what? A chiropractor? They're made up funny doctors. They're not even real. And I went, what? Okay. And basically he convinced me out of it. So yeah, I heard all this stuff about chiropractors. So yeah, that's
And he took all these pictures of me like this,
yeah,
right?
yeah, let's get a good picture.
And he put these
Whoa.
lines through me.
Wow.
And you want to know what he said to me?
All right.
Your head, he said to me, your head leans forward 3 inches. He said, so your head weighs 12 pounds. Because my head weight goes forward 3 inches, because my back, I'm compensating for my back. He said my head weighs the equivalent of 51 pounds. I'm not
sure the math on that. I don't.
So my head would have to be this big, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's.
Anyway,
yeah.
I didn't mean to bring it up and everything, but man,
no, sure.
I was just so bummed out. Like
you should be.
Everybody just wants this. I don't know what it is anymore. Every place you go. Every place you go, you know, it just sucks. It really sucks. But anyway, I'm real happy with the Jets' move so far. I really am. Yeah. And I'm kind of getting more on board with Geno. I'm hoping the guy's does have a chip on his shoulder. And, you know, playing behind a better offensive line, get a couple of more weapons. I'm hoping that the kid can be just serviceable. You know, just be a middle of the pack quarterback. That's all.
Yeah.
And give us something to cheer for.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was just my rant for this morning. Sorry about that, everybody. I know you don't want to hear, but
no apologies necessary. This is a show by the people for the people. I want to hear what the hell is going on. So screw those scammers, Carl. You
screw those cameras. Screw those cameras. Thanks a lot, buddy.
There you go. See, F those people. What the? Trying to charge my man 5G? Trying to roll up on my guy Z? Ho, ho, ho. Oh, yeah. You're lucky. C didn't tell me what the hell is going on with where the hell this place is. Me, Boy Green Coffee Club, might have to show up and pay a price. That may have to happen here. Let's go quickly back to Hep here. Hep has something to add. Yeah.
I was going to say to C, I've been taking this stuff now called methylene blue. And what it does is it feeds oxygen to the mitochondria, but it also helps nerve pain. It gives you energy. It reduces brain fog.
Wow.
And it actually works. About after a month of taking it, I have much more energy. And I had problems with my I had 2 new hips, so I had some kind of weird nerve pain on my left heel, but that's gone down like 70%. So
wow.
Yeah, if you're looking into it, that's something to look into. See, so that might help you with your back, you know, to avoid surgery. That's all I came in for.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Hep. All right, man. The Coffee Club provides a lot of services here on the program. That's for sure. Back to the phone lines. It's Lou B, Super Jets fan, baby. Do you have any advice for my back? Because I've been carrying this Jets team for some time now, so I'm getting a lot of pain there. Any advice?
I do.
Oh, please. Okay.
So I have a pain right here in my neck always. So the TENS unit. So when you go to the chiropractor, they put the TENS unit on, you know, those little sticky pads.
Yeah.
So I was getting charged maybe $80 a visit sometimes. And then I looked on Amazon. They sell the same unit for $40. I have 2 of them here. I use them like almost every night, and it really helps. You put the TENS unit on, $40. All you do is change the battery, and they work good on any back pain, any muscle pain. 10 units, great. So there's my back advice.
Okay, nice.
Back to football.
Yes,
Go
sir.
Jets. Hello, all Jet fans. And Boy Green Coffee Club and Espresso Club. I'm part of that too, the double Espresso Club.
Hell yeah, baby.
I enjoyed that last time we did that. First things first is I hope everyone comes to the draft party that we're doing in Pittsburgh.
Yes.
I know Boy Green's coming, Johnny Boy's coming, Boba Jett's coming. My whole Jets crew is coming. Jake's doing a party at McFadden's 12 p.m. on draft day. So that's going to be great. We're all going there. Anyone need any advice? To go to the draft is free. Just join One Pass from the NFL, and it's free. And we'll all be there together. So, Boy Green, I hope when we hear them trading up and trading down, that'll just be crazy, man.
Oh my goodness. Cause I can't even, because I've only seen the draft on television. I've never been there in person.
Me either. This is my first one.
And when you see like on the I've like done live shows during the draft. I've just been sitting on the couch on the draft. And when you see like, I'm going to make this up, the Colts are on the clock, and you just see on all their big video screens, you just see the Colts logo floating around. And then all of a sudden you see it go like, let me see if I can get the sound effect in here. Like when it happens, all of a sudden you see like the color change. And a Jets logo pops up, and and again, when I'm on my couch, I'm just, but we don't know what's happening yet. We just see that, like, holy shit, the Jets are on the clock. They moved up. Who the hell did they move up?
Go nuts.
Like adrenaline.
I can't wait, BG. I can't wait.
Oh.
I live for this.
In person. Oh my gosh. Oh man, that's going to be so cool. So I can't wait. That's I'm so revved up for that. Oh.
So anyone staying home, and I know Chef Kev goes to it every year also.
Right.
At the stadium, they do half Giants, half Jets. I have some bad news. They're not doing it this year. Yeah, because of the World Cup. So they are doing it at another location. So all Jet fans that thought they were going to MetLife, it's not there. They didn't announce the other location yet, but it's coming soon.
Oh, wow.
Okay. You can go there, and it's cool. They do a big party, but it's not like in the stadium. So that's why even more of a reason to come to draft
100%
this year, right?
Yeah.
So two quick things. One, that kicker in the Shrine Bowl, Trey Smack, 57-yarder, young guy. What a great name for a Jets.
Sure, great
for a
name.
Jets kicker, Smack. Here he comes, Smack. So we got smacked in the face. But BG, what other teams need a kicker?
Oh wow.
I think where would we have to? And someone answered it in the chat before. I think Iowa Jets fan, but where would we need to take a kicker so that we would be able to jump in front of anybody else that needs a kicker?
To me, the only thing I haven't seen is kicker rankings, so I don't know where he's smacked on the board there. But for instance, Cade York, like the kicker we just signed yesterday, like he was a 4th-round pick. I don't want to be spending, with all due respect, a 4th-round pick on a kicker. I mean, unless he's just rock solid. And as we've seen in draft history before, that doesn't always work out to draft a kicker. But I'm fine using a later day. If we use a 6th-round pick on a kicker, okay. We use a 7th-round pick on a kicker, okay. Anything above that, I'm going to.
But BG, it's so important. I mean,
it is.
The Giants have a new coach because a kicker shanked the kick.
That's true. I didn't think about it like that.
When you get down to the playoffs, if you do not have a good kicker, it's over. Your dreams are gone. It is so important. So with the amount of picks that we have, I think we have to take kicker really serious. And then Banjo back there, coaching him up or whatnot. So the next thing I wanted to ask you, my last question here.
Yes, sir.
If you looked at our starting defense last year, I don't mean when we started tanking, and I didn't even know who these guys were. But like, let's say game 2 to 4.
All right.
How many starters are still on the Jets?
Oh my God! So obviously Quinnen's gone, Sauce is gone, Quincy is gone. Let me keep going through. Who else am I missing? Jermaine's gone, obviously, so that's another one. In the safety room, Cisco's gone. Tony Adams is gone. Sauce obviously is gone. Oh my God! So that's 7 at least of the 11 starters.
Okay, so we're down to Will McDonald.
Will McDonald's on that list. I guess if you count one of Harrison Phillips or Juwan Briggs, both of them wouldn't have been starting.
But they brought them here. Anyone that they took, I look at different.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're just talking about like OG. Oh, like Jamie Sherwood is still here for now.
Is the last one.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Okay. They're definitely trading him. They are definitely trading him. Obviously, he didn't play that good. They're probably just trying to find someone to take him. But then we go into next season looking at a completely new defense.
Yeah.
And that is so exciting because obviously how bad they were.
Yeah.
So that is, to me, I think they are doing a great job. RGM is Dark Vader. He is incredible. This is so good that we have a completely new defense. And I was thinking the other day, imagine if Brees does stay, imagine him going into the locker room crying in front of Fitzpatrick and Demaryius and these other guys. I mean, he can't act like that no more with this team. This is a team of bruisers, man. So I'm excited what the GM's doing. I think they're going to start to work on the offense. But there's so many good receivers out there that I don't know if they need to take a receiver at 16. Hurst, Zachariah Branch. There are studs out there later in the draft that could possibly be even better than some of these guys. So I hope they're scouting good, but I think when they're filling all these holes, I think it leads them more to taking Ty at 16. I do.
Ooh, I think you're right because it opens up more versatility. That would be something. Before you go, Lou B, I think C wanted to tell you something. So go ahead, C.
Yeah, Lou B, thanks a lot. I use a TENS unit. They are very good. They're temporary pain relief. They kind of block nerves and stimulate a muscle, but they're very good. They're very good. And thanks for the advice. I appreciate everybody's concern, and that's really cool. Listen, I did get one thing about the Patriots, why they're so hated. But I have one point to make why I hate the Dolphins because
See, I'm with you. I despise Dolphin fans. I had to rescue fans from.
I was living in Florida, and I was in a sports bar, and the Jets were playing Miami with Dan Marino, and he threw the fake spike. And I felt like I shrunk down to about this big. I had Dolphin fans all around me, and all I could say was, good game. You know what I mean?
What else are you going to say? Right. Yeah. I
never felt so low in my life at that moment. That's a moment that sticks in my head of a point of watching the Jets where I just felt like it can't get any lower than this. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. Thanks a lot.
I'm with you on that because I go to a lot of the away games and there's no fans worse to me than Dolphin fans. I mean,
no, there's not.
I got to be honest with you. When I went to New England, the fans were not. They were like kind of not. First of all, they do not sit down in New England. They stand the entire
time. Yeah.
No one sits down.
Yeah.
And, just Dolphin fans are just nasty. Honestly, they're the nastiest fans. If you fall on the floor, they'll kick you. They are. No remorse from Dolphin fans. None.
Well, I'll tell you. I went 1 year. I went to a Panthers game in Charlotte with my son-in-law and my son. And my son, we're walking out of this, and of course the Jets lost. And we're walking out of the stadium with our jet skier, and all the people were starting to say little comments to us and this and that. And my son, being, a wise guy like he is, turns around and he's starting shit with people.
Yeah.
And I had to grab him and say, we're fucking outnumbered here. Shut your mouth and let's just get out of here. You know what I mean? Yeah. You just can't win. But we used to take a bus when I lived in Florida. I didn't live in South Florida, but we used to take a bus every year and go down to that when it was Joe Robbie Stadium. And I swear to God, I don't know how we got out of here alive half of the time. It was so bad. It was so friggin' bad. They just torture you and torment you. And, you can get pissed off and you can say shit to them, but, you're going to get your ass kicked no matter what. You know what I mean?
I met up with the Boston Jets fan club when I went to New England, and they're like, stick with us, trust me. So it's like, but it's great going to the away games, meeting up with
it is.
That's the more. I was speaking to Derek, the Kansas City Jet fan yesterday.
Yeah.
And, when I go to KC, I'm going to KC this year. I am going to have a nice tailgate in KC.
Nice.
Hey, Johnny boy, I have a question for you. Who's the spoon in the room with you and BG?
I like to switch it up. It just depends, man. So it just depends on the mood. But real quick, guys, I just came on here real fast. I was in the back with everybody. Could we get a moment of silence for Michael Clemens?
Yes.
Oh,
we did
my
talk
God,
about that today. We did talk
Indy.
about that today, of course. Yeah, for Indy. I did a short about it, but we haven't talked about it here on the show. Michael Clemens, for those who missed it, to the Indianapolis Colts, 3-year deal, $18.5 million. Wow. It's a lot more than I thought he was going to get. So there you go. So yes, so let's pour one out. Let's pour one out for old Uncle Indy in this time. I heard that he may change his name from Indy Jets to Indy Colts. He said on his name. So
wow.
Our thoughts are with
He's
him.
the first. Indy's the first person I thought of the second I saw it.
That was the immediate first person I thought
everyone.
of. When I saw that news. That was
more people thought about Indy at that trade than Clemens. And Clemens' own family.
I know that's definitely true. So appreciate that.
He was a great New York Jet. He was an amazing Jet. May he do really, really bad with the Colts. Okay, help the Jets continue to keep rising with the Colts.
He trips over Daniel Jones's Achilles in the locker room.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, I heard they're gonna retire Clemens' number.
Oh,
so we don't ever have to think about him again.
Wow.
What up, Easy?
It's very touching.
I'm just like, wow.
Yes.
Yeah, Clemens is gone. I was thinking about that when you were talking about all the starters. I mean, he wasn't a starter, but I mean, he played about half, and he's gone too. Yeah. So who's left?
Boy,
I mean,
Sherwood.
Hey, that's about it. That's it.
Will McDonald.
Yeah, Sherwood and McDonald are like the two rotational guys that are left. That's
the OG Jet guys, right? The guys that weren't acquired, like Brandon Stevens or Jarvis.
No, I'm not talking about the guys that played like 5 plays a game.
No.
I'm talking about the guys who were rotating in on the defense constantly. They were always on and off the field with the way they rotate. Yeah, Sherwood's the only one left.
Yeah, it's a new world out there.
McDonald's his own man. That's a true man right there. He's his own man, and he was never part of the problem there. I remember watching the game where we need another sack, and he got one. We need another sack. He got another one. I said, we need another one. He got another one. That guy, and I was at Tampa Bay when he blocked that kick and ran it back, and he ran right by me, and I just fell in love with him. I was like, I love you forever.
100%. That's one of the coolest. I just wish they would have won, because then Will would have gotten all the flowers he deserves for that play. If we win that game, we talk about that forever. I'm still probably going to talk about it forever because I'm a Jets fan, but that was one of the craziest moments ever.
It was 130 degrees on the field that day. I went with 42 people. And it was 2
Boy Green. Watching Boy Green do the play-by-play on that was priceless.
And I'll save that clip forever.
I remember that.
In my files,
you were more animated than AG on that one, and AG was losing his fucking shit.
That's true.
That's the famous salsa dance.
That's right. Oh yeah, we will have that forever here. Let me see. Do I still have? Oh, here it is. Okay, we'll see.
Dancing down the sideline.
Okay. All right.
That was funny as hell.
Oh my goodness. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. We need a block. Will McDonald. Is he on the edge? I can't see. But let's get a block, baby. Or just a straight up miss. Oh, Will McDonald blocked it. He blocked it.
Oh my God! Oh shit! Right by me.
Get out of here! Oh my God, golly! Oh, the Jets got the miracle! The Jets got the miracle! Will McDonald blocked it and took it to the house. There it is. What a moment! Because that's the only thing. Because people that forget. Did you check
your sugar after that?
Did I? The Jets were down 6. If the Bucs kick the field goal, we lose. It's over. And the only thing they could have done is block it and run it back to the house to take the lead because our offense wasn't doing it on their own. And for all of those things to perfectly happen, I lost my shit.
I hope he stays on the team. He is incredible, and he will come in big. I do not want.
Yeah, I think that I think Will McDonald is real talented, real athletic, and I think the Jets are going to figure out a way to put him on the field in certain situations. He's going to be a situational pass rusher.
We have Dunbar.
That's what he is. That's what he needs to be.
Over there.
He can't be on. He's not a 3-down guy, and I think if we get Reese, can you imagine the athleticism on both ends of the line with Reese and McDonald coming after the quarterback? Because these guys are fast. I think that's going to be man, I can't wait to see that.
Let's go.
I'm waiting to see the Jets do some kind of a NASCAR package where they have their 3 starting linemen, and then they have McDonald and Reese on the outside, and they rush 5 and drop 6. That's what I'm waiting to see.
Yeah,
like on a 3rd and 8, rush 5 and drop 6. Have a couple of linebackers that are fast. Have them stay in that gap where people can do that slant right behind the line of scrimmage, and then have the 4 over the top.
Recapping, baby. I would love it. Hey, by the way, C, thanks for joining us, C.
I got to check out, guys. Thank you.
I'll let you guys go too, but I love Harvell, but I'll never change my stance. Jeremiah Love, baby. BG knows it before I even say it. If they take Love, I will lose
live there. Oh my
BG
goodness.
at that draft. I will go nuts. Get the camera on me.
Okay, we'll do. We're gonna have it ready. Thanks, Lou.
Hey, Lou, before you go, Lou.
Yeah, easy.
I had this theory that I've mentioned many times, that I think the best thing they could do if they don't get a receiver is just convert Breece Hall to a receiver.
Wait,
just put him on the line, put him in the slot. Put him in the line, put him on the slot, let him do end arounds. I mean, because the guy is great in space, but God help you if a defensive lineman so much as puts his pinky on his shoulder pad, he goes down behind the line of scrimmage.
I was at practice with someone, and we watched one running back drop multiple passes. BG, can you tell them who I was with and what running back that was?
I believe you were with me, and that running back was Breece Hall.
Check your notebook. It's that notebook that you have right there on your desk.
Okay. How many did he drop?
He just kept dropping them.
Do you think he just doesn't give a shit anymore?
No, he doesn't give a shit to be a Jet anymore. He wants to play. He wants to be rich, and he should. He's a great player. I'm not saying that he's not. He just doesn't want to be on the Jets. I mean, if you don't believe me, just check his post today. And
then why didn't they fucking trade his ass?
And him saying at the podium, I'm not their guy. I mean, that was the first sign, and then it just kept going and going and going. He doesn't want to be here. We just don't need that negativity in the locker room. As far as a player, look, we're better off with him. But I do not believe he will be a Jet. I'm going to keep on saying that until maybe I'm wrong.
So you think he's going to get traded at the
I have no idea. All I know is whatever. I would trade him to Cleveland and send him out there for free, just to go away. He wanted to go to Kansas City. I would give him to Cleveland just so he suffers in Cleveland. That's what I would do. You want to talk shit on Instagram? I'll ship you off to Cleveland. That's the worst place I can think for him at this point. I do not.
Probably wait. The Raiders would be worse.
No. They're getting stacked right now.
Yeah,
they have
over there. So yeah, but right. Let's figure out wherever Siberia is, which could be Cleveland.
Yeah, that's where I would send them. But you guys
have a good day. There he is, Lou B. joining here on the show.
So where is NFL Siberia right now?
I would assume. Well, I guess I'd have to look at the bottom 5 rankings to see if there's another team I'm not thinking of. Cleveland would probably be up there. I mean,
Detroit and all that division.
Tennessee's been terrible, so I guess Tennessee would be.
Well, you could get back to Salah.
Oh, that's true. Maybe he'd be interested. Maybe we could reunite. He just reunited. I don't know if you guys saw it yesterday. He traded for Solomon Thomas, another former Jet. He traded for him last night. So Solomon Thomas is back there. So they keep stacking him. Well,
he keeps doing the guys that he's super familiar with. he should actually try to integrate some newer guys in because not everybody's going to be alive in a couple of years.
That's
I'm talking NFL alive. I mean,
no, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
The average career is what 3-4 years in the NFL, and that's if
correct.
you're. But only a handful of guys get to play 10 years.
100%. It's a very limited amount of time. It's a very limited.
I did not realize that Brees was dropping that many balls. Was it because he did? I've seen him drop a lot in the games too. So
yeah, he. I don't. I know me and Luby, we're both there physically when that happened. But it was a random training camp practice. That's when you should be dropping balls. I'd prefer it in practice than the games, even though he has had drops in games too. But to
me at this level, it's just a lack of concentration.
Clearly, yeah, right. And right, it's a random day in training camp. Like, you should be on all the time. I think that's what Jet fans would prefer. But
well, that's what if you've listened to me talk about Klecko in the past.
Sure.
He was when everybody was running half speed in practice, he was the one cleaning clocks and tearing people's heads off and stuff. And he'd tell them, you guys have a job. I don't. I'm going to be here all day.
I think we have a few of those kind of guys. Demario Davis, Minka Fitzpatrick. I think we have some guys that are going to hold people accountable in the locker room, which I think is super important. So hopefully we end up getting that.
If I could get anybody into that locker room, especially in that weight room, I would hire Joe Klecko as a special consultant 100%. To the weight room. I mean, how would you say no to him?
You can't.
You can't say no to him. Marty Lyons couldn't say no to him.
Right. Yeah. If he's interested.
You should take that clip from a couple of years back where Marty Lyons is talking about how he's walking out of the weight room and Klecko goes, "Where the hell you think you're going?" 100%. I mean, that was the type of commitment that Klecko had to the team. That's the type of commitment that's what these guys need. Everybody at this level in the NFL is talented.
Right.
But everybody in this level of the NFL is also compromised because of the National League Players, NFL Players Association. They dumbed down all the practices. There's no more 2-a-days. You can only be in pads. What is it? 1.5 days and stuff like that.
Yeah, right. It's only you can have it a limited amount of times, like 10 practices or something during the off season. You can split them up when you want to do them. There's all these rules and things of that nature that are involved. Appreciate the call, Easy. We have to go, but a couple of things just to finish off. Frankie sends in a member for 17-month shout out here on the program.
Wow.
Classic BG. I'll have that clip forever of the Will McDonald call. I did play-by-play last season. You guys wanted me to do it, and I did it, and we have a cool moment like that forever. That is pure fandom, as Troy called it. That's exactly what it was. It's just my raw reaction in the moment. And I got yelled at a lot because my children were sleeping in the other room, and I woke them up from doing that. So that's unfortunate. Let's wrap up the show here, guys. Indy, again, if you guys are new to the show or new to the channel, Indy is a diehard member of this coffee club. I got to meet him at the tailgate last year, and he's been a diehard fan of Michael Clemens. Perhaps Indy Colts. Thank you, Indy. Pour one out. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you back at 3 o'clock. Thank you to the 1,200 people in the room. Insane. If you want to do me a favor, like the video on the way out. Hit subscribe. Again, we're only 6 subscribers away from 8,470. So help us grow. every time the Jets make a move, we're going to be putting out a YouTube short about it. So hit that bell notification so you never miss it, everybody. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.